able to come?
Yeah, then we can kind of see.
Yep, we've got a participant here.
Hello. If you're
Jackie's here, and Corey and Bryce, all kinds of people coming in. Hi, everybody.
I am using the phone, so it doesn't ring. So if you're trying to call me, sorry, I can't answer for you. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We're going to wait just a couple of minutes and we'll get everybody into the room here. But this is called Wine and Design. So if you don't have one of these, go ahead, take a couple minutes, get yourself your beverage of choice, your snack, whatever it might be. And we'll get started here in just a minute. So I think I'm going to take a sip. Oh, I see Jane's joined. I think you're in the car, Jane. Safe travels to you guys. Hope you're doing well.
We're getting there.
All right, all right.
We're at 12 attendees. We've got about another 10. We certainly won't wait for everyone.
So Rachel wants to know, Anita, if she sees you. So for those of you who are just joining us, we always do these workshops in person. So this is our first time doing a virtual workshop. So if you can't see us, if you can't hear us, if the screen changes, feel free to type a message to Anita and she will let us know, because right now the only people we can hear, the only person we can hear is Anita. And she might to me so I can see those. But yeah, and then also too, if you are joining us online, make sure you have your mouse ready. Have a little piece of paper on the side too, because we have an interactive quiz here that we're going to go through, so you can get a chance to find out what your design style is. We're going to talk through some of that in just a minute too. So as soon as Anita tells me I am free to start chatting, I will absolutely start chatting here.
Just a couple more. We've got Lori Tanner is here and she's so excited.
Hi, Lori. Thanks for joining us. Okay. All right.
And there's Alex. Oh, we got all kinds of people. So we will open up to questions towards the end. If you have a question during the presentation, just go ahead and type it in the chat and we'll make sure that Karen gets it and that she can then answer it when she kind of gets to a stopping point where she can kind of look at some of those questions. Otherwise, I think, Karen, you want to wait just like one more minute and I think everyone will be here.
All right, all right. And again, for those of you who are joining us, this is our first time doing a virtual workshop. Again, we always do these in person because I just like being that person who can get a chance to talk to you and be, you know, interact, and that's just who I am. So I am not Italian, but I talk with my hands quite a bit, so you'll see a lot of this going on. And then actually we are in our studio right now. You can see all of the beautiful fabrics behind us. My husband likes to call these tapestries. So I have to remind him that we don't live in castles anymore, so they're not tapestries, they're fabrics. But so we've got those behind us, and right now on our design table that we work on, I've got monitors all over the place here. So you'll see me kind of moving my eyes around so I can watch to make sure I see what's happening and that I'm not looking too crazy. While you are joining us, what I'd like to do, you see Anita, and Anita is part of our team. Anita is our business manager, and she is self-quarantining because her husband is in healthcare. So safety precautions, because we want to be cautious for our clients and for ourselves. We have Anita quarantined to her home. So she is in her home office. Meanwhile, Rachel, come on over, Rachel. Rachel and I are in the office. Right now, we're not 6 feet apart, but we typically, our desks are 6 feet apart, and we are kind of social distancing, except not at the moment here. But we sit further apart from each other, and we are trying to be very cautious using our hand sanitizer. And these are crazy times right now. So I hope you're joining us and that you and your family are healthy and happy and maybe enjoying a little bit of a break from the rat race. So we thank you for joining us here in this hour. Maybe we'll go a little long because I like to talk a lot. But we thank you for joining us, and we hope to be entertaining, but then we also hope to provide you with some education as well too. So again, welcome to Miller Design Group. And Anita, should I just get going here?
Yep, go ahead and start.
All right, all right. So we are going to be talking about the 2020 design trends, and let me see. And again, this is where did that change? Did the screen change, Anita?
Go ahead. Not yet. It's still on the first slide.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
So let me try this. I'm going to do a new share. There we go. Let me share. Sorry, guys. Again, we love technology. And then from the beginning, and then we'll see if that actually is changing for us. Slideshow, resume slideshow. That's what we would like to do. And sorry about this, guys. We had this all worked out. We had practiced this and we didn't have any problems before, but you know, sometimes
you might need to do what you did last time. Stop sharing and then reshare.
Okay, so I'm going to stop share. Sorry about this. But what I can do while we're talking about this, I can tell you what we're going to be doing. We are going to go through our design trends, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about who Miller Design Group is. I have to do my shameless commercial just because you're joining us today, so I need to take a couple of minutes and talk about who we are.
Try it from the beginning again. There you go. Sorry. We can see your slide decks. Go ahead, try from the beginning.
It is being a stinker here.
You gotta love technology.
A lot of technology. You know what? I wonder if it's because we plugged into we've got multiple monitors. But anyhow, here, what we'll do is I'm gonna shrink this up, and there's more than one way to skin a cat, right? I'm gonna make this smaller. And yeah, maybe we disconnect there. Okay, so who is Miller Design Group? We're gonna talk about that. We are going to do a lifestyle quiz. So, you know, if you have ever wondered what your design style is, oh, maybe that did it.
There you go.
Success, all right, all right. Very good. It was that extra monitor that we had logged in that was actually creating a problem here, so. All right, so we're going to take a lifestyle quiz. We're going to define the decorating styles, and there are lots and lots of different decorating styles out there, but what we're going to do is break it down into 4 different buckets so that you know, the 4 most popular, particularly in the Midwest. We primarily service the Midwest, so the 4 most popular here in the Midwest. I'm going to share with you the 2020 design trends. I was at High Point, North Carolina in October, and that's where they released all of the fun new products and new textures and fabrics and new furniture styles, things like that. So I will share all of that with you. Then we'll open it up to some question and answer at the end, and see if there's any other burning questions you might have. But a little bit about Miller Design Group and who we are and how we work. We start our process with an initial consultation, and I know because you're at home right now, there's lots of online options with e-design. That's not who we are. We like to meet our clients in their space. Right now, some of that is being done virtually because we can't get out and about. But typically, we like to meet you in your space and get a chance to know you. Design is so personal. Your home is your sanctuary. Your home is your castle. So we want to get in, see how you function in the space, see who's using the space, and see what general design style you have right now, because that gives us hints to help us put together beautiful plans for you. So we ask you to take us on a home tour. And after we have that conversation, after we take the home tour, we determine together whether or not we're a good match to go forward, because any sort of design is really kind of a marriage between our clients and us. and we want you to feel really comfortable working with us. So when we're there, we ask you lots of questions. We're kind of like 5-year-olds where we say, why, what? We ask all of those fun things because we want to really get to know you. So once we agree that we want to move ahead and we talk about budget, we talk about goals, then what we do, we come back to the studio here. And we don't have a retail space, so we are absolutely just a design studio. We do have some extra accessories and artwork and things like that, but we're not a furniture store at all. We take your goals and we put them to paper and come up with a design plan for you, and we bring to you. We will put the plan together. We'll come in on presentation day and show you the texture, some samples of the fabrics. We'll show you the floor plan, the layout, the samples of the types of furniture, lights and lighting and rugs and things like that, so that you can get a picture of what your space will look like in your home. Because I'm sure many of you have been out there and you've purchased furniture, whether it's online, whether it's at a big box store, whatever the case might be, and you've received your products and you've gone, oh my gosh, this doesn't even look right in my space. Well, that's the advantage of working with us and us being the experts and helping you kind of pull everything together. We help you avoid some of those mistakes. So after we do that presentation, you give us the go ahead. We place all of the orders. Anita, who you see online there, she is the one tracking things down and making sure that trucks are delivering products and that installation is happening. And we put together a reveal day, which sometimes, or most of the time, is like the HGTV reveal. So we're really thrilled when you cry, because that means we did a really great job. So tears are okay in our book. There is crying in design, a good cry in design. So we do the reveal, and then you just get to live with the beautiful space that we've put together for you. Okay. Oh, sorry, going the wrong direction here. So how we've been working, right? Because, we're quarantined right now. For a lot of people are quarantined. How we work is actually, I explained to you that we typically like to come out to your space and we like to be in your home and doing all this one-on-one. But because of the situation we have right now, we're utilizing technology for this workshop. What we have been doing is virtual consultations. So God bless, those of you that we've been working with, where you take your cell phone and you walk through your space, or you take your tablet and you walk through your space. That really helps us to get a sense of what you're looking to do. We then actually work on putting together a virtual design. So you can see, actually, we've got right here our virtual design. This is a situation where we've got our before picture, and this is the virtual design who my talented and lovely Rachel puts together. She's the master at putting these all together. And this is what the final product looks like. So with all of the technology we've got at our fingertips right now, you absolutely can get a really good feel for what a space might look like. So we've actually been doing this. We've had some clients on, East Coast, West Coast. We've got clients, we're located in Des Moines. We've got clients in the Chicagoland area and in Wisconsin, various parts of Wisconsin. So, we've been utilizing this, and it works out really well. How we are different. We come to you in your home. Again, there are design tools, e-design tools available online, which can be great, but they don't get a sense of who you are, how you function in the space, what you like about your space, because they're going off of just a few tidbits here and there. We like to see the size and space, how you're using it. We ask you all those questions. And again, what we do and how we're different, I'm part of the Decorating Den Interiors franchise group. And what that means to all of you out there is, while I operate independently, I've got this massive support group there that has arranged access to over 150 suppliers in every style genre. So whether you're contemporary, whether you're modern, whether you're the rustic or farmhouse, whether you're traditional, we've got suppliers in all different price categories to help meet you where you need to be to accomplish the goals you want to for your space. Our traditional model different than other designers out there is our traditional model where we don't bill by the hour. If you're purchasing products from us, we won't charge you an hour. So if it takes us 15 hours to design your room, or whether it takes us 7 hours to design your room, you're not going to get a separate bill for that. You just purchase the products from us, and you don't have to worry about any other checks to write. And beautiful thing, I had mentioned earlier, we're a one-stop shop. We bring everything right to your home so you can see what things look like in the light of your home. And that is makes such a huge difference and helps you from making design mistakes. And then the last thing, as I had mentioned, Anita handles all of that, coordinating the installation and the service and whatnot, so you don't have to worry about doing that, because especially right now, I'll tell you, it's been a full-time job for Anita just to track down where trucks are coming and where they're going, because, you know, truck drivers and manufacturers get corona as well too. So this is the last slide on who we are. Here's some services that we provide. Sometimes people don't understand the scope of what we do, but we can help you with a selection of furniture, whether it's upholstered furniture, case goods, meaning tables and things like that. We have access to arts and accessories and artwork and accessories and all of that to help finish off your space, as well as lighting, from chandeliers to fans to lamps, indoor and outdoor lighting. Custom draperies, we do a lot of custom drapery, as well as blinds, shutters. Actually, we had 2 blind installs yesterday. So yes, flooring, custom bedding, custom closets, wall covering. So you can read the list there, but if it goes inside your home, and actually if it's furniture that goes outside your home, we can help you with that too. We did quite a few outdoor spaces last year, and that was so much fun because I love being outside. So, all right, we are going to move on to the lifestyle quiz here. So if you ever had any questions about what style do you really like? Do you know how to define it? This is where this is the interactive part. So this is a chance for everybody to take a sip of whatever you're drinking at the moment, whether it's iced tea or wine. Go ahead and do that, and then click on go ahead and fill out the quiz here and click on your answers. And
if you can't see it, please let us know. Send a message in the chat and let us know if you can't see it. And then for those of you that are just listening and maybe can't see the screen, the questions are, what are your favorite colors? So nobody's taking the poll yet. Can anybody see it? Can you not see it? I don't see any questions.
What, Anita? I'm trying to click on it here, and it's not letting me click. Let me see.
Oh, okay.
So, hang on. There you go.
Okay, people are taking it. Okay.
Okay, good. So if you're in the car, if you don't have access to your computer, if you're listening to this, I'll talk through some of this for you too. So what are your favorite colors? And so maybe you have a pen and paper handy. The A answer is neutrals, beige, creamy white, and gray taupe. Or B, primaries. Sorry, the screen is really far away from me, and and I'm over 40, so primaries, pure reds, blues, and yellows. C, pure blacks and whites. Ooh, thank you. Yes. Pure blacks and whites. And D, pastels, soft pinks, baby blues, gentle greens, lilacs, and orange sherbets. Number 2, when you entertain, what's your favorite kind of party? Do you like a formal sit down with your best china? Do you like a buffet dinner with lots of guests and on less formal china? Do you like C is a formal cocktail party with elegant hors d'oeuvres? D, an informal picnic with friends and family bringing their favorite dish? Anita, should I keep going through this?
Yes, we're getting some questions real quick. People are asking, can you choose more than one? Yes, you will be able to choose more than one answer, because you don't always fall with just one very specific taste. Sometimes you're gonna kind of cross. And then Jane also raised her hand. She had a question. I just want to unmute her really fast and see if I can find where she went here on my list.
Can you hear me?
There you are, Jane.
Yeah, my question was, can you have more than one? And you answered that.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
So I'm mute again, right?
Yeah, I'm going to mute you now.
Hi, Jane. Thanks for joining us. Yes, so you can pick more than one, and I will explain that shortly. So question number 3. If you could live anywhere in the world, would it be a historic city with comfortable downtown neighborhoods or nearby suburbs, great schools, or something to do for everyone? B, a brand new neighborhood with handsome contemporary homes and cul-de-sacs for kids. C, a big upscale in a big upscale city with renovated lofts next to handsome old houses and apartment buildings. Or D, a charming country town with a beautiful natural setting surrounded by farms and outdoor sporting activities. Oh, sorry. And number 4, what type of furniture do you prefer? Do you prefer A, classic antiques and reproductions? B, new, well-made furnishings with updated fabrics but traditional shapes? C, sleek contemporary styles with leather, glass, metal, and lucite? D, comfortable furnishings with wood and metal, leather, and durable natural fabrics? Okay. And I think we have just a couple more.
Yep.
5, what style house do you like best? A brick or clapboard colonial with a garden? B, a large family home with lots of space for friends, home office, and indoor entertainment? C, sleek upscale apartment or townhouse? Or D, a comfortable cabin or beach home close to nature? And then just 2 more we have here. Number 6, this is kind of a different one. It doesn't ask about homes, but how would you dress for an evening out? Would you find something appropriate from your closet? Letter A. B, find something old and mix it with something new and trendy? Letter C, buy the latest in fashion, something that glimmers and glows? Or D, choose a linen or cotton dress and add a hand-woven scarf and artsy earrings? And then our last question, then we'll get on to the design styles here, is, are you planning to decorate? How would you like to decorate? This is a multiple choice also. You can A, review what you have and decorate around your favorite items. B, one room at a time with a plan and a budget in mind. C, move in and do it all at once with the trendiest furnishings. Or D, search for one-of-a-kind handmade items and plan furnishings around them.
Okay, I'm ending the polling. Looks like for those, oh, wait, hurry. All of a sudden we jumped up. Okay. I'll wait. All right.
Little sidebar with the glass of wine, so my family and friends, they've heard me actually, describe things, and I've done sometimes short little videos. And actually, this one, Anita, will be saved up to our YouTube channel.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I am accused of using the word fun just maybe one too many times. So my sister-in-law, God bless, she said, hey, you know what? You use the word fun a lot, and so we should make that a drinking game. So if you are having that glass of wine or something, feel free, whenever I use the word fun, to go ahead and have a cocktail. Otherwise, a sip of your iced tea again, so I don't want to encourage any bad behavior.
But you're probably home, so it's okay. Okay, I'm going to share the results. And once we share the results, Karen is going to go over what the A, B, C's, and D's actually mean. So here we go. Okay, can you see that?
I can see that.
Does that help if I make it bigger, or does that work for you?
Okay, so no, that actually works for me.
That work? Okay.
Multiple choice. 100% of you say neutrals, beige, creamy, white, gray, and taupe. And then our second highest is the pastels. I'm a little bit surprised with that one. So we've got okay, so we'll take a look at that, Anita. If you want to scroll down, we'll keep those in mind. So hopefully you're keeping track of whether you selected A, B, or C, or D on these. And then, okay, let me see. Question number 2, it had the most popular answer with what would you, if you were going to entertain, what's your favorite kind of party? A buffet dinner with lots of guests eating on less formal china and drinks served at a bar. You know, I think that's just so indicative to how society is nowadays. We used to be really, really formal and you know, years ago. And I remember when I first got married, my mom said, you have to register for china. Well, I think that china's probably been used like a dozen times, and that's it. And I'm over 25, so it hasn't been used. The next biggest is the informal picnic with family and friends bringing their favorite dish. And again, I think, you know what, we love to be social, and we like a little bit more of the less formal. So I'm not surprised by those responses at all. Oh, this is really interesting. Number 3, what we have is, where would you live if you could live anywhere in the world? And our most popular answer is a historic city with comfortable downtown neighborhoods or nearby suburbs with great schools and something for everyone to do. And gosh, you know what? I have to say that is probably the antithesis of the Midwestern lifestyle, right? And the reason why so many of us live in Iowa, because it's quintessential Iowa, is just being close to, you know, some history in town and the farms and the wide open spaces. So yeah, and great schools. And actually, I mean, all over this area, Iowa's done really well with that. What type of furniture do you prefer? All right, letter B is the most popular: new, well-made furnishings with updated fabrics and traditional shapes. Okay, this is gonna be great because I can refer to all of this as we go through the rest of everything. The second highest response is comfortable furnishings of wood and metal, leather, and durable natural fabrics. All right, I think that really speaks to the whole farmhouse trend that we're seeing out there. So very good, very good. What style of house do you like best? B was the most popular answer: a large family home with lots of space for friends, home office, and indoor entertainment. Well, I have to say, the last couple of weeks, the home office has become critically important. So right now it's the kitchen table for some people. It might be, you know, the guest room. It may be one of your kids' rooms that you kick them out. But yeah, I think with what's happened now, you know, I mean, there's a lot, you know, hopefully people aren't sick. Hopefully they're staying healthy and whatnot. But I'm going to see, I bet there's going to be a shift more in business. So if you don't have a home office right now, and if you can work remotely, I bet we're going to see a trend where business is going to say, okay, you need to have your own home office workspace. So that actually is one of our upcoming webinars. Is it not, Anita? Is it
yes,
the next
it is.
one?
Next
Okay.
week. We'll talk about that. Yeah.
We will have a hot topic. Yeah. We're going to talk about how to create that inspirational home office because it's so critical right now. Okay. The next one is, let me see. How would you dress for an evening out? And find something appropriate from your closet. You know, again, we are conservative Iowans, right? We're going to take a look at what we've got in our closet. And then actually the other one is mix, the second highest, actually it was just split between these two. Mix something old with something new and trendy. And I love to do that because believe it or not, actually this that I'm wearing, both of these things, I won't even tell you how old they are. They're like 10 years old. I have them in my closet, but it still works. It's still on trend. So you know what? If you buy classic pieces, you can use them over and over again, and you'll still look within trend, right? All right, and then are you planning to decorate, and how do you like to decorate? And we find this with a lot of our clients is that they review what they have and they want to decorate around their favorite items. And I think that makes a lot of sense, right? I mean, there's very few of us that have a big, gigantic budget to say, here's $100,000, go ahead and decorate my entire home. But we want to take what we have and we want to marry some new things in with what we've got. So we do that all day long. And it's kind of fun for us too. And it really challenges us sometimes when somebody pulls something out that's, you know, from a different era, and we try to pull it together, and gosh, we come up with some really amazing designs for that. So, and then actually the second highest with that is one room at a time, and plan a budget with a budget in mind. We also find that as well too, that, you know, especially if you've moved into a new home and you're bringing old furnishings into a new home, that many of you that we've worked with have said, okay, I can't do this all at once, but I want to do it all. So that helps us, where we'll come in and we'll work on a whole plan with cohesive colors that flow nicely through your home. And then as budget allows, we focus on the living room, then we focus on the dining room, and we focus on, you know, the master bedroom, whatever the case is. So, okay. All right. Thank you, everybody. So we went through the results. So if you had mostly A's, you are a timeless traditions person. And we'll talk about what that all means when we get to, I'll show you some examples of what all this is. If you are a B, you are transitional, which I see being very, very popular style. So my boomers seem to fall more in that timeless traditions category. My Xers seem to fall in that transitional category. Then we have contemporary. Now we're in the Midwest. We don't see lots and lots of contemporary style. I'll explain what all of these mean in just a minute as we get to some examples. But if you're in more of an urban area, Anita, I see you drinking your wine. If you're in more of an urban area, sometimes, you know, we get a little bit more funky in some urban areas, but the rustic farmhouse, we've seen a lot of that around this area. So keep track of what your results were. And then I have to tell you, you guys had great questions when you said, can I pick more than one answer? Because it's just not that simple. Very, very rarely do we find that somebody falls hardcore into a traditional bucket. Actually, we've had a few lately, but it's rare that you find somebody who's really hardcore traditional. We see lots more of the transitional, but some of the other influences that we have today that we're looking at are the open concept spaces. Some of the challenges with the open concept spaces, again, if you moved from a home that had specific rooms, now you come to an open concept and you're like, oh my gosh, I've got all this artwork and like 10,000 family pictures, and where do I hang these and how do I hang these, because I've got no more walls. So those are challenges. So then maybe a traditional shift moves into transitional. Really large scale spaces too. So we've got to come up with some really creative ideas on how to utilize space properly and make it feel full without overstuffed. We work with a lot of 55 plus in the 55 plus communities. And so there's the downside spaces. Many of our clients have gone through that, where they've got, you know, the 4,500 square foot home, and now they're into 2,500 square feet. What do they do with all of that? So there's a focus too on higher quality, but less stuff. And actually, that's a whole other workshop that we can do on how to determine the quality. So Anita, maybe if anybody's interested in that, we can talk about that, because there's a lot of stuff out there that may not be the highest quality. And we can talk about what pieces you need to focus on quality, and what you maybe can save some money on, and that doesn't have to be the most expensive. There's less obligation to a particular design style. I think many of you probably fell into a couple of categories. And the last is the major influences today. We do see with the millennial generation that there's less magnetism to things from the past. So if you've got boomer parents that have downsized and they want to get rid of grandma's tea cart and the buffet and all of these things, and they're hoping their kids will take them because they want to keep these family heirlooms in the family, and the kids are like, no, I don't want anything. We're seeing a lot of that, where we've got our boomer clients that are saying, what do I do with all of this? So we try to help them out by offering advice on what they can do with some of those pieces. So fortunately, with the rustic and the farmhouse trend, we do see some of those fun antique pieces that get incorporated, and maybe, you know, God forbid you paint them, but sometimes people like to paint them. You know, grandma's tea cart now, instead of being a rich, you know, cherry wood, is now a whitewash or something. So thank goodness for the farmhouse style, right, and the rustic style. So now let's talk a little bit about the lifestyle designs and what they all mean now that you have determined whether you're A, B, or C, or D, or maybe a couple of both. The traditional, the classic and timeless styles. So what I want to do is really what defines traditional, and we'll go through some pictures here. When we think about traditional, it's got European base to where traditional style and furnishing came from. So think of Europe, think of, you'll hear French country, things like that. It's indicative of sumptuous furnishings, lots of textures and velvets, and very, sometimes very ornate wood, but lots of wood and rich color woods, along with some dark tones that are encompassed, rich color palettes. And you'll see some curved lines, actually beautiful, beautiful curved lines, but typically always with wood. The furnishings are a little bit more elaborate and with ornate details, and I talked about the fabrics being like velvety and silks and brocades, and as my husband would say, tapestries. We don't live in castles, but he does say tapestries. One of the things that's indicative of traditional and classic timeless is that you see layering, and what, like going back to what Hilary Farr said, she starts with the floor and then she layers on the pillows and she layers on the draperies. That is indicative of traditional, and we're seeing more and more people wanting to add those draperies in because it softens the space and makes it feel really good. So let's take a look at a couple of pictures here. And if you're taking a look at the space, you can see, traditional is abundance, right? We've got a space here that's very, that's full. We've got, when we take a look at our lines, we've got our curved, our curved arms here, and a little bit more, we've got more overstuffed chairs that we're looking at. We've got the mixture. We've got our leathers here with our nail heads. We've got, a more ornate rug. We're layering in the texture of, and we're laying in the drapery here. So you can see that this is a very traditional space, and it's very welcoming. There's something about traditional spaces that make you feel warm and welcome, make you feel cozy. And typically when I go into homes that have a traditional style, we always say this is a warm, welcoming home. So nice lines there. This one, when we talk about opulence, this is a classic traditional space, very, very opulent, where we take a look at this chair right here, and I don't know if you can see my mouse, my pointer. This is actually a velvet chair. And so we've got, it's a nice barrel chair that we're looking at, and it's finished off with these beautiful nail heads. But then, so we've got beautiful texture there. And then we take a look at the curves, the rich curves of the lines of the sofa here, along with the arms that we've got. We've got a rolled arm here, and then we've got, again, more layered textures. Go back to the draperies here. Now, again, this might not be your style, but this is indicative. And if you like traditional, you don't have to have, you don't have to utilize draperies that maybe are this ornate, but this is just an example of traditional. So we take a look at all of that, and then we see we've got lots, lots of accessories and things like that. Again, tradition is a little bit, it's more collected, it's more opulent. Here's another beautiful example of a traditional space, maybe a little bit more cleaner lines, but we've got the beautiful gallery pictures in the back. We've got our draperies here. And again, we've got our rolled arms. We've got the curve at the back of our leg of the sofa here. And then we've got, it's hard to see, actually, let me go over here. You've got your bun front leg on a wheel there. So again, it's just some beautiful, great, great traditional design here. Now, transitional, when we talk about transitional, this is truly a style that bridges the gap between the traditional and modern. And really what it is it's kind of more of a cleaned, or a clean line, more minimal version of traditional. And that's why they call it transitional, because it's a great blend. Again, probably the most popular style that we work with. So, as I mentioned earlier, there's lots of design style subcategories, but we've lumped them into the four majors for what's popular in our market. Transitional, and as I mentioned, just a little bit more minimal. We don't have as many things, out, not as many accessories. We want to kind of minimize some of that. But what makes transitional a little bit different, and we'll talk about modern here in a second, is that transitional, while traditional tends to be lots of woods, transitional will introduce in some different metals and things like that. So some different textures into like what would be the side tables and coffee tables and whatnot. So, you know, the steel and the glass is typically brought in transitional design. But then that's united with some plush furnishings and whatnot. So beautiful, sorry, I can't talk, transitional, where traditional tends to be more of the browns, the warmer tones. Transitionals tends to be more of those neutral tones. So if we go back to the quiz that we took, take a look at what the responses were. We saw a lot. A was traditional, which were more of the beiges and browns and taupes. Transitional, again, it's more muted. And if you watch HGTV at all for the last couple of years, you've seen over and over again very light walls with light, light kitchens and lighter color furnishings. So that's really indicative of what the transitional style is. Here we go. Here's a great kind of example where you see a marriage of traditional and a little bit more of the modern style. This one leans a little bit more traditional, but we take a look at the size of our chairs here, not so streamlined, but not as ornate as what traditional could be, but we've got our rolled arm. We've got our interesting wood legs here. But then what you can't see, which is a shame, is this table where this yellow lamp is on. That is a mix of glass and metal is what that table is. So this is definitely a more minimal look. When you take a look at it, take a look at what we don't have, while we have some decor on the countertop there, we don't have an abundance of decor. It's not cluttered at all. We're mixing and taking a look at our chandelier here. We're mixing in, some of our glass and our gold there. Just a really beautiful design. Pardon me. This is another one. This is a great transitional design too, where, they're utilizing the drapery. We've got a nice layered window here with some shades, and then we've got the drapery on top. Imagine what the space would look like without drapery. It would be kind of stark. So as you're sitting at home for the next week or finish in 2 weeks, take a look at some of your space around your home and go, what can I do to make this space feel more complete? What can I do to make the space feel warmer? And drapery is a great example of that. But look at our fun, modern textured rug that we have here. As a matter of fact, I just had a client yesterday who also ordered this rug too. It's a great, fun, updated look of a rug there. So really, really fun transitional space here. Cleaner straight lines that we've got happening. And then we've got but we've married that with a little bit of a roll of the arm on our sofa there. Here's another one. I love this space. This is just such a wonderful space. Perfect transitional space. Again, straight back, clean lines there. We've got our mixed metal and our marble. Wonderful. This space, if it did not have the green added into it, this space would be very, very stark and boring. But by adding in the pop of color there, and then the chrome lanterns that we've got happening here, this space just really looks clean and sleek, but not so sterile that you can't enjoy it. So just a really beautiful transitional space. Here's another one. This is an example of a small space that is utilizing some traditional design. So again, we've got our rolled arms here with our curve, but we've got straight legs. The choice here for the feet were straight legs rather than a bun foot. We've got our mixed wood and metals, which is great. And then look at the straight line, the box back of this sofa with the track arm. So, and then some contemporary artwork here. So really, really nice. Actually, in this lamp, which might be hard for you to see, this is actually a mix of metal with lucite balls in each one of the spots here. So it just creates some really great interest. So contemporary, I wanted to talk about contemporary and modern because sometimes those two get intermingled. People think, oh, contemporary and modern, it's the same thing. Well, it's actually not. Contemporary style, actually, we've got is contemporary actually refers to what's current right now. And in contemporary design, typically will have some curves to it. You know, when you take a look at the different furnishings and pieces, whereas modern, think about mid-century modern, right? Very straight, clean lines, tufted, but sometimes there's tufting in the sofas, straight arm sofas, just everything is very, very linear in a modern design. Contemporary, again, in our area, in our market, we don't see a lot of contemporary, but we do see some clients who want to pop in some of those fun contemporary pieces. So really, when you're in general, just kind of a quick way to tell the difference between the two: contemporary curves and modern, more straight lines. Think of the mid-century modern. So as we take a look at these fun spaces here, this I actually love. This is one of our suppliers, and this actually, I took this photo when at market. What I love are the beautiful curves of these barrel chairs, and the manufacturers have done such a fantastic job now of creating interest on the chairs and the furniture pieces, because again, think about a lot of the homes being built nowadays have open concept. And I'll talk about this too. You'll see some backs of chairs that I'll show you a little bit later, but they want to create interest on the backs of the chairs, because as you walk into a room, what you're seeing is the back of a chair. Well, it could be boring, or you can have a chair that has some interest here. So again, we've got upholstery mixed with metals, and we've got curves added in. And then you can see, I don't know if you can see, but I can see on my screen, taking a look at this circular pattern that we've got going in the back of this headboard, this upholstered headboard. It's just beautiful. And then these beautiful metallic side tables. Here's another, again, very contemporary space. As we take a look, we've got the curved sofa here, which is fantastic. We've got some fun geometric design on our rug there. Very simple design, not overly stated. We've taken two colors. It's two colors and basically added in layers to create a very interesting space. So again, we've got our curves, we've got our curved table repeated here along with the poofs. You know, whether you sit on these or not, it's a nice way to finish off the space here and make it very conversational if you have overflow seating. So just a fun little way to do that. We also have a round table here. So again, nice contemporary space that we're looking at. This one screams contemporary. So again, these are fun, funky chairs. So just a really great, fun space, nice, bright, bold colors. So if you're looking for a little bit of energy, you know what, why not have some fun? This is a great, maybe this is your inspirational office. Bring some energy. Actually, some of the offices that we have done, we've had clients say, you know, I just want to come in and be inspired. Okay, we can do that. So what we'll do is we'll put together a couple of different plans, and then, you know, we'll see how inspired they really want to be. So sometimes they're not as inspired, they don't want to be as inspired as we want to push them, but other times they go for it. It's great. So, okay, the farmhouse in the rustic style, and really, you know, this, I don't have to spend a lot of time explaining what farmhouse and rustic is, but really the nature of this comes from, it comes from nature, right? So we take a look at natural elements, beautiful wood beams, the live edge tables, which I love. They're just, I mean, it's just fun. Bringing those outdoors in. The difference between rustic and farmhouse is you'll see in farmhouse that you've got more of the elements that you would find on the farm. You know, we're using some of the shiplap, we're using some of, you know, you'll take a old watering can and that becomes a vase, and you know, so bringing in some of those metals along with the woods and the natural elements. So fun things that you find on a farm. Again, if you watch HGTV at all, Chip and Joanna Gaines, I think without them, I don't know that the farmhouse style really would have taken off the way it did. So they kind of really blew it out of the water for a lot of people. But let's take a look at some of what that looks like. So this style here, I'm calling elegant farmhouse because there's just beautiful lines. Take a look at this table here. It's just gorgeous. We've got our circle. You know, we've got the stone wall, which would be rustic, right? And then we've got our beautiful drapery here. Imagine again what this wall would look like without drapery. And then what we've added is our natural, we've got our wood table and then our upholstered chairs here. So this is just a beautiful, kind of elegant, rustic, elegant farmhouse, you know, depending upon the way the rest of the house looks. This is classic farmhouse, right? We're utilizing that shiplap, and we've got the iron bed here and just some of the layered textures that we have that make this indicative of farmhouse that you would see. This one is a great rustic. It's kind of a little bit of a marriage between rustic and farmhouse here, because we've got these beautiful wood shelves and that match what we've got going on with our mantle here. This is a shiplap a shiplap wall behind the shelves. And then, but we've got, what I like about this space is sometimes farmhouse can get cluttery, and this space does not feel cluttery to me. It feels very, very comfortable. So if you're doing farmhouse, just, you know, as some people are all in on farmhouse, that's fantastic, and absolutely do that. But just be cognizant of your space too. And let me see, oops, sorry. Here is another one. This one is a great rustic space. You know, very, very comfortable. We've got, you know, the mixture of metals and stone and wood, and the wood beams, and then our beadboard ceiling that we've got going on here, and these beautiful iron sconces. Just a nice space. Here's another, this is absolutely farmhouse. You take a look at our shiplap wall that we've got going on here. Again, the draperies, we've got our wooden barrel here. So this is absolutely farmhouse. Word of caution, if you're somebody who likes to be somewhat timeless, I will tell you that since the farmhouse trend has been around, rustic's been around forever, right? And rustic is not going anywhere. This specific farmhouse style has been around for the last 5 years or so, and it's going to have a lifespan, right? So if you like farmhouse, don't get too themey throughout your whole house, because then, you know, you're going to feel out of date maybe in a few years. I would say use it sparingly if you're one of those people who feels like you want to make sure that your house always looks current. If you love farmhouse, go for it and just live where you love, right? So make it look exactly the way you want to. So just, I get that question a lot asked me, because farmhouse has been a while, so I just around a while. I just want to make sure that I answer that, you know, just don't get too themey if you're worried about going out of style within the next couple of years. Okay. All right, so now actually the High Point market trends I want to share with you. So you see the picture up there, I am there. Here's some of my compadres from Decorating Den. We were all a small group that we got together, and when we went to High Point, if you're not familiar with what High Point, North Carolina is, it is the mecca for all designers and decorators around the country. That's where most of the manufacturing happens. And so that's, you know, made in America. That's why it takes 8 to 12 weeks to get your sofa or your upholstered goods, because everything is handmade right there. We go to High Point to find out what the latest trends are, what the new product lines are, whether it's lighting, whether it's furniture. We go there to see what the latest and greatest is, so we can come back and bring that to you and make recommendations. So I'll share with you just a couple of pictures of the group. Here's just some fun things, you know, some fun pictures, some of my girlfriends here. And then this is actually, this guy here is one of our manufacturers, and he was a hoot. He reminded me of Danny DeVito, and he was hilarious. So I just had to get a picture with him. I am sure that most of you on the call recognize this lady on the right. Right? Do you recognize who this is? That is Hillary Farr. Here she is. We got the opportunity to meet with her and talk with her. This is another of the group from Decorating Den, and we were all there together. We saw 36 different manufacturers in 3 days, so we were moving. I blew up my phone every day. I came back with over 1,000 pictures, right, Anita? Yeah, it took you quite a while to upload everything along with videos. So here's some of the product trends that I wanted to share with you that I observed while I was there, and then what our manufacturers were telling us too, is pattern is back. If you are one of those people who's been afraid of pattern, don't be anymore. Pattern on pattern on pattern. layered pattern. Pattern is back. And I think that's because the traditional trend. So if you're somebody who loves traditional design style, guess what? It's back. It is the new, one of the new trends. The themed trend is coastal this year. We'll talk about that in a second, but traditional is back. And I think that's why we've got patterns that are back as well too. And mixing patterns is absolutely okay. So if you're afraid of it, don't be afraid of it. We'll guide you through that. We'll make it easy for you. This is just such a fun space. I just had to include this picture. That the fabric is just beautiful. This is just like, you smile. You have to smile when you look at it, whether you put this in your home or not. You just smile when you look at that fabric. You can see here we've got some great little stools, great for extra seating. If you don't want to use a poof, this is just a great, cute, fun fabric, and it's in bright colors. We've got, the patterns here, and then this, there's some really, really beautiful patterns that sometimes are not always appropriate to sit on, right? That shouldn't be used for seating, but it can be used for the backs of chairs. And so I've got some of this, I'm working on some chairs with a client right now where we found this beautiful fabric that we want to put on the back of the chair, but it's not appropriate and wouldn't necessarily wear well for somebody to be sitting on long term. So we're using a complementary fabric like this. Or actually, this is a fun little Sherpa that's on the inside of this chair here with our fun fabric on the back side. Oh, hey, fun. So you can do that, and it's a great way to introduce new color and interest. As I mentioned, we've got open spaces, right? And with our open concept homes, it's great if you can kind of create some interest when you walk in the room rather than a solid plain chair back to walk into. Leathers are really, really big, and gosh, so many of the manufacturers, take a look at this rainbow of leathers that we've got going on here. We went into quite a few of our vendors, and they are offering lots of different shaped leathers. So don't feel like you only have to go with brown. If you want to spice it up a little bit, gosh, maybe this teal is the color that will look great in your space. Why not, right? But what the manufacturers are doing too, they're getting kind of smart. And I have to say, it's a look that either you like or you don't like. But oftentimes people don't necessarily like leather because they think it might be hot. They think that, you can get sweaty when you lay on it, or it's cold in the wintertime. So the manufacturers, there's several of them that have kind of married the two, where you can have that leather look from the outside, but then just like that chair I showed you, the inside seating area is another textured fabric. So I'll show you that here right now. And again, this is just a couple of examples that I came along. Here is just one sofa that's great for a theater room. The way this is, a little bit more overstuffed, higher back. This is, again, this sofa itself is an incliner, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. But we've got the blue leather on the outside, with a coordinating gray piped in blue on this, and we've got our contrasting blue welting here. So this is just, again, whether you like the look or not, this is just a way where you can get leather furniture on the outside and then fabric on the inside. This over here is, we've got the green. This is green leather along the bottom. And again, we've got this more of a taupe color, a more oatmeal color fabric that we're looking at here. Okay, oops, I'm gonna jump too far. Sorry. Okay, performance fabrics. All right. Ooh, now it's time for, maybe we can do a demonstration here. So for those of you out there that maybe have thought leather is your only option because you want your dogs up on the sofa, and your kids are on the sofa, and they're eating like this sweet little munchkin here and getting cookies and crackers and everything all over the place. Performance fabric is a great option for you to go ahead and utilize. And as a matter of fact, we've got a client where her entire living room is all performance fabrics, and we're going to be doing that install within the next couple of weeks here. And so we have a performance fabric sectional, and we have performance fabrics chairs, and then we have a big long seating bench. And so all of it's performance fabrics because she's got a large family and she's got pets. And she said, you know, I don't want leather, but I want to be able to have something where I can have the dogs up on the sofa. So, and that's okay. I mean, what's really great now too is performance fabrics, just even the difference from last year to this year. Typically they were just solid colors. And so now the performance fabrics actually have lots more patterns to them. So you're not just stuck with one plain color. And actually, grab some paper towel. Sorry, I'm off camera. And what we're gonna do is just give me kind of a glass of water here. Actually, here's some of our performance fabrics that I can show you. Let me get I should have had my props ready, sorry. But, you know, there's all sorts of different colorways that you can take a look at the performance fabrics here. And we've got some different patterns and things like that. Actually, I'll go right to the back here. You know, so you've got some different patterns that you can take a look at. And here's one colorway, another colorway. So what I am going to do, and Rachel, actually, let me, if I'm going to get a little glass of water because I want to make sure I dab this off. This is, you know, just not for drinking. This happens to be a prop too. I am going to go ahead and have my paper towel here just because I don't want to ruin my sample. And actually, if you want to see a video of this from market, go ahead and check out our YouTube page. So
we can't see too much. So when you, can you like hold it up a little bit?
Rachel, would you be able to hold? Okay. Oh, you want to tip it down? Oh no, actually that's all taped in. No. Okay. Yeah. So Anna White here is going to hold this.
There you go.
Yay!
Thanks, Anna. Okay.
God, am I nuts or what? Okay, I'm gonna do this. I don't want it to run all over, so. As it did. Okay, so show the camera. We have got wine there, right? Okay, so guess what we're gonna do? We are just going to blot it off. And look at me, I'm insane for doing this to my samples, but guess what? Okay, I just blotted it off. Show the camera.
Oh, God.
Can you see that?
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, ooh, we have a rug sample. Performance fabrics, so just make sure I've dabbed off all the wine there. So performance fabrics do work. So again, don't be afraid. If you're not a fan of leather, the performance fabrics are a great option for you. The other thing that I saw too at market, so besides the performance fabrics, are the curved pieces. Curved pieces were all over the place. I've got some fun, funky ones. This is a really kind of neat settee. You know, so just a little conversation area. If you want to sit down, you and your husband, have a little conversation there, you and your kids, or whatever the case is. I love this console table here. This is just really cool. And then we've got some fun lighting with lots of curves. Here's some other funky things that we've seen. Great sofa. This one reminds me of a pair of lips. So it's just really interesting. This piece here is, I think, really designed to be in a commercial setting, whether it's a hotel or some other setting, unless you have some big parties. And or maybe, you know, you want to share a sofa with somebody and one person sits on one side, one sits on the other side, and you can lay there and talk and have a conversation. So, but just some fun pieces. Sleeper sofas. Oh my gosh, this was like the greatest thing in the world that I saw. Sleeper sofas have come a long way. And I have to tell you, I just got back from Breckenridge, was there in February, had to sleep on a pull-out couch, my husband and I. The girls know I had to come back, and I spent several visits at the chiropractor because my back was all wrenched up and just, you know, the bar in the back, and it was horrible, horrible. Well, these sleeper sofas, now this is all a wonderful, nice memory foam sleeper sofa. I laid on this and I thought, oh my gosh, this is a dream come true. The way it folds out is really nicely. So if you have a room that has to play double duty and be used as a guest room, maybe it's the office that we will help you create, the beautiful office. Maybe we need to put a sleeper sofa in there for you so you have that for your guests. This is, again, really, really great options with those. Mixing woods and metals. I think most of you have seen this. You know, we've got our iron with our wood here. We've seen a lot of these tables out, but this was still really, really popular. So if you've got these tables, if you've been thinking about a mixed wood and metal table, and maybe you've been a little bit, you know, should I do it? Shouldn't I do it? Do it, because, you know, this is absolutely a trend that is in and will be around for a while. Here's some more examples of the wood and metal mixture. This is a nice console table. This is a little bit more modern look for kind of an entertainment area, just because of the wood that was used. And we've got some less grainy, probably a maple wood that we have here. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but just a nice look there. Swivel chairs, my favorite swivel chairs. We've been putting quite a few of the swivel chairs in lately. And again, for the open concept space, swivels are just a really, really, really great option. They're super comfortable. They can be this barrel style. They can also be a larger style, a larger back seat, whether it's the club chair. We can pretty much swivel pretty much almost anything. But if you've got an open concept space, it just makes sense that your seating can rotate to whatever part of the room. You know, if you're in this example here, you can see these chairs can turn around and they can be a part of this kitchen bar area, or they can spin and they can be a part of the dining room area. So it's just a really, really great option. So if you're thinking about what kind of chairs should I get next, I told my husband we're getting swivels because I love the swivel idea. Here's some fun swivels. Here's my girlfriend, Lori. She's got, I was telling you about the fun backs that the manufacturers are putting on, you know, on the backs of their chairs. This is a really fun hexagon pattern. We also have over here, it might be a little bit more difficult to see. The manufacturer's done a beautiful job outlining the outside of this particular swivel chair with nail heads. So it's a great look, adds some interest, takes what could be a boring chair and gives it a little bit more personality and pizzazz. I had talked about the incliners before, or the recliners and now the incliners that are available out there. You know how the recliners before, you know, you've got to have your sofa, you know, 8 inches off the wall if you want to lay back. The incliners I love, and they're doing a great job of coming up with some really pretty patterns. I mean, not patterns, I'm sorry, design styles. So take a look. I took this at market too. This sofa literally is just a couple of inches off the back of the wall of you know, the showroom there. And what you can see is, now what happens is the incline of the chair comes out into the room. So instead of the back going back, so, you know, the one thing a lot of people don't like about seeing the backs of reclining sofas is you see that split back and you see the seams in the back for your chair, for the chair pieces that go backwards. Well, with the incliner, you've got your nice smooth back to the back of your sofa, and then the chairs come down and out into the room. So it's a really, really great option. Take a look at this. This is an incliner too. And who knew? I mean, this is like, you know, could be a mid-century modern type style if you wanted, you know, and this comes down and out. It's just a really beautiful looking sofa. This is a European sofa. And the top, you can see the top flips back and then this slides out into the room. So Motion furniture is fabulous. And they now come with batteries, so you do not have to be plugged into the wall as you see here. Many of them have batteries that just need to be recharged after like 6 months worth of use. For my traditional friends out there, antique mirrors, they are back. I saw them in many different showrooms as we went around. So if you like the look of the antique mirrors, and again, because traditional's coming back, antique mirrors are coming back. That makes perfect sense. So don't be afraid to add that in. And you know, maybe it's not a wall of mirrors, but maybe it's an antique mirror that you couple over a console table or something like that. Dimensional art was very, very popular that we saw. And so sometimes, and I think dimensional art is really becoming very popular because, you know, the homes that we used to have had lots of different walls, right? So you had lots of wall space to hang art and you can kind of mix up your art. Now you've got an open concept space and there's minimal wall space, but so sometimes your artwork just doesn't look good together. Well, guess what? you can take a piece of dimensional art and then you can add interest to that space and find something that's complementary with your actual art piece, and it will look really nice and kind of blend it together rather than having artwork that has two different mediums that just maybe don't look like they flow. This is a really great option. This was actually fun. These were all flowers that were tacked onto the wall, so maybe fun for a bedroom or something like that. Oh, natural and textural elements, you know, again, because Rustic and Farmhouse are so popular in terms of styles, you know, we're taking a look at a lot of the natural elements, a lot of these fun wood shapes that are being brought in, or the basket. But we're also seeing too that the pillows that we're using with our clients, we've got, you know, they're not all smooth satiny finishes. We're using different textures, and layering those textures really creates a lot of interest in a space. So it creates the dimension. So you walk in, you go, wow, that looks really cool. Oh my gosh, those are really neat pillows. Sometimes it's just the pillows that have lots of texture, and that's all you need to make the difference in a space. Acrylics. I saw quite a bit of acrylics when we were walking around, and it's just, I think the acrylic mixed with upholstery or the fabric is just such a beautiful, elegant look. So maybe you don't necessarily like, you know, the browns and all of the wood. Nowadays, it's okay for you to kind of mix an acrylic in with acrylic side table with your woods. So we can help you do that if you're afraid to do that the right way, but we can help guide and direct you. But look at this beautiful bench here. If you've got a tight, cramped space, using acrylics is a great way to make the space feel lighter and more airy, rather than heavy, you know, like wood might make it feel heavier. Accent tables, fun, fun, fun. You know, we grew up, everything had to be matchy, matchy, matchy. I keep telling my clients, don't be matchy. I met with a client today and we were looking at some side tables for her chairs. And I said, okay, here's the square and here's the round, and they still coordinate, but they look good. And she's like, oh my gosh, I didn't think about putting two different types of tables in there. And it creates interest in your space. So it takes it from maybe blah to just fun and interesting, and I said fun again. So anyhow, so just these like really interesting side table accent tables here. You know, this actually, oh hang on, let me go back to this one. The front of this, if you can't see it, that's actually cowhide. So it's really, really cool, the front of that table. We've got iron legs with a wood box and then a cowhide front. It's just a really neat table. Okay, this one you can see too. I talked about don't be matchy-matchy. Take a look at this really neat clover leaf table, wood top, metal legs in a clover leaf shape. Really, really cool. This one paired nicely with this wood top table, and we've got our metal legs there as well too. What ties this space together is we're repeating certain elements around the room, so it works. The legs are similar for both of these, and then coupled with our chairs here that have the metal legs. So again, a great way to kind of repeat patterns and repeat textures to kind of pull a space together. The other thing I haven't seen in a number of years is bench cushions. They were in, they were out. A lot of people like 3 separate cushions on their sofa. We've seen, actually, I saw quite a few bench cushions for sofas and sectionals. Now, this much I will tell you too about the bench cushion. It is a little bit more of a casual look. It is comfortable if you like to sleep on you know, your sofa quite a bit, because you don't have to worry about all the different levels, but it's comfortable if you like to lounge. But what will happen sometimes too, and this is just a word of caution, it's a little bit more of a casual look. You may see how it's casual because we end up with a little bit of puckering sometimes on our fabric here. And that's, again, if you're looking for that casual look, it's perfect for that. I wouldn't talk you out of it, but if that's the goal that we're looking for. The oversized track arms on sofas, we just put in, did an installation, what was it, last week, and the leather sofa, we had the oversized track arms, and it's just a beautiful sofa. Upholstered beds, back with a vengeance. See those all over the place. And I really do love the look of upholstered headboards and then the sideboards and the footboards. So if you don't want to do the whole bed upholstered, the upholstered headboard is a great idea. If you have allergies, I would tell you not to do the upholstered headboard if you're allergic to dust and things like that, because unless you're regularly vacuuming it. So, but it is a great look if you don't have to worry about that. I love that the manufacturers are really paying attention to their hardware that they're putting on their furniture as well too. So if you're out shopping, if you're looking online, if you're working with us, take a look at the hardware. And the manufacturers are doing a really great job of adding really interesting hardware. So you could have, take a look at this piece to the right here. This white, it's just basically a box, right? I mean, you've got your table there, your chest, that's just really a plain box. But look at the interesting hardware on there, and it just creates a really beautiful, elegant piece. This over here too, look at, we've got our knobs that we're looking at here, just really, really interesting hardware that's being added to furniture now. Wallpaper. Okay, I grew up in a house where my mom loved wallpaper. Wallpaper was on every single wall. Every single square inch of the home was covered with wallpaper. Well, the wallpaper of my era was horrible wallpaper, horrible to pull off. So, when mom wanted to redecorate, it was the worst job ever. My parents would give the four of us putty knives and a wet rag, and we had to soak down foil flocked wallpaper and try to scrape it. Oh my gosh, I think we did more damage to the drywall. My poor dad had to, reskim all the walls after we were done. But you know what? They shouldn't have asked us to pull the wallpaper off, right? But anyhow, today's wallpaper is really, really different. So much easier to take down and off, and like incredible different designs. So take a look at this on the left. These are not actual books. This is wallpaper meant to look like a library. So if you've got an area that you think, oh, well, hey, I'd like to do something fun with it, and maybe you don't have the depth of space in your room to create built-ins, put some fun, funky wallpaper up there that looks like a library, and you've got the look that you're looking for. So that's really neat. This is an interesting industrial look as well, too. So this wallpaper is made to look like big cement tiles. So really interesting. And then the wallpaper over to the right here is more, it's a textured wallpaper that we've got some green flecks and gold flecks in there on our brown taupe. So it's, there's lots of things that you can do with wallpaper. Actually, I saw some amazing shiplap wallpaper. So if you don't want to commit 100% to shiplap, and you're worried about maybe times changing a little bit, you can go with the wallpaper and put it up and then take it down when you need to take it down. It looked amazing, like to the point where I had to come up and touch it to make sure that it wasn't shiplap. Okay, I have mentioned several times to you, traditional is coming back into fashion. So I think you can do an updated traditional. So you don't have to stick with, if somebody who says, I don't want to do the browns, I don't want to do this. Well, guess what? Gray actually is always going to be a neutral, but it is not the new popular neutral. Beige is coming back around. So actually 4 of the last new homes that I've worked with have gone with some sort of little bit more of the brown undertone paint colors. So the beiges and whatnot we're looking at. So not gray, so gray is still popular. So don't worry, if you have gray and you want gray, you are absolutely fine with that. But it's the beiges and the traditional tones are absolutely coming back in. I see some of my clients getting away from the painted cabinets and they want to go back to the stained wood. So which is really, it's indicative of what I saw in October at conference or at High Point. Coastal living. Coastal living is actually really, really, really popular right now. Went in and out of several manufacturers, some incredible looking fabrics that to choose from, and rugs. Oh my gosh, everything coastal, a lot of fun. You take a look here, there's all sorts of fun things that you can do from a decor standpoint. So coastal is in. If you love coastal, everywhere I went, my gosh, it was coastal, coastal, coastal. So I was taking pictures all over the place. Here's some, cute accent that you can do in a kid's room. This is just plywood cut into waves. So really, really neat. Our starfish we've got there from an accessory standpoint. So so coastal is popular. If you love that, go ahead. I know we're in Des Moines. Actually, we have a whole coastal home that we are doing right now, believe it or not. So it's a fun little style to be working with. So that's really popular this year. Comfortable elegance, and we're calling it comfortable elegance, but I really want to say that this is very similar to updated traditional. Because I see a lot of people saying, I want my home to be beautiful, but I want it to feel comfortable. So that's what we're doing, is we're being able to utilize really durable fabrics, again, like the performance fabrics, to give you that beautiful look. But we can create the nice, elegant, we'll add in some beautiful features, whether it's, mixtures of the golds or the beautiful shiny metals and things like that. So it's comfortable elegance is in, we've got our sateen fabrics, things like that actually make for a beautiful, elegant space. Here's just some other great pictures of what comfortable elegance might look like. I love the detailing on the back of these stools here. We've got light colored stools, which in a kitchen area could be very, very problematic, right? But the detail added to the back of these stools where you can see the handles. So hopefully everybody will use the handle to slide the stools out, but just a really beautiful look. Storage solutions. Lots of interesting storage solutions that are available to that are available out there right now. So interesting long credenzas that we're looking at with beautiful drawers. This can be right in the middle of a living room. It's a beautiful tabletop piece. You put a couple of lamps on there and a couple of minor accessories, and that's a beautiful piece that can sit anywhere. But gosh, you can have your office, all of your office items put right in that space. This is beautiful idea for bookcases, nice open area bookcases, and that feel, that are just really traditional in style. And look at the panel walls back there, are really great. Closets, custom closets are very, very popular right now too. So we can actually help you out with those as well. But people are looking for those storage solutions, especially if you're sizing down to something smaller. You've got to find a way to put everything in place. And then you can see another picture there of different storage solutions. Oh, hang on. There we go. We're almost done here. Some funky items that we found at the market. I don't know that I would put this anywhere personally, but if you like that style, I'd be glad to do that for you. But I just saw that picture. I'm like, I think it reminds me of something out of Alice in Wonderland. But just the funkiest looking room that we came across. These were cute. We're from Iowa. Pigs are big. I just had to take a picture of that. I've got friends from Texas, so here's a longhorn. Had to take a picture of that. Look, isn't this the cutest little eyeglass holder? They have a male version and a female version, so I thought that was really cute. And as I get older, sometimes I have tried not to wear cheaters, but every now and then, if it's 10 o'clock at night and I'm working on a design, the cheaters come out. This to the right, believe it or not, honest to gosh, they called the slipcover the mullet. You know what? If you grew up in the 80s like I did, and so you can do the math, this is business in the front, party in the rear. So if we take a look, let me get my mouse over there, you can see actually the chair to the right has straight front in the back, and then we've got in the front, and then we've got this skirted back. So I just thought that was hilarious. Okay, hang on, let me go. Come on, click. Oh, there we go. I thought this was a really fun, funky bench. It's got the lucite legs, or the acrylic legs, which is really neat, but I thought it was really kind of cool. This, well, here's me fun little statues. This would be perfect for a home with tapestries, like my husband calls them, but just these gigantic, you know, pewter statues here were really funny. And this sofa, honest to God, we took a picture and we had like 25 people on this picture. I have never been accused of being petite in my life, but I felt really, really small on this sofa. There could have been like, you know, 6 people laying down across. It was just really fun. So if you've got a big game room, you need that sofa. All right, we are coming up to the end here. The last thing we're going to be talking about is color trends, and this we can move through very quickly. So there are 5 major manufacturers that really, you know, in the paint industry that actually vote on what their color of the year is. I am thrilled to say that blue is the new neutral. I have always loved blue. I don't know what about it is. Maybe I love, because I love being outside. I love the water. I love blue. I'm thrilled that it's the new neutral. Here's just some pictures of how you can use blue in your space. We've done a lot of blue painted cabinetry, you know, accessories, headboard. I just think this is a really neat look. Wallpaper, just some fun things. Here, again, some examples of how blue can be used, bedding, again, artwork, accessories. So Sherwin-Williams, the color of the year is navel, and it's a rich blue color. And what I love about blue, it's the new neutral. Again, we've got our beiges, we've got our grays, but blue is the new neutral. Take a look at how all these colors coordinate so nicely with the blue wall. You know, we've got golds, we've got greens, we've got yellows, we've got oranges, we've got reds. I mean, this is just a really beautiful space. Pittsburgh Paint is another one of the manufacturers that, you know, with their color of the year, it's a version of blue, but it's called Chinese porcelain. So it's a little bit more violet in the undertones, but it offers more deep blue than, you know, than the navy blue there. So just, again, take a look. The green just pops right off of that paint along with the yellow. Benjamin Moore, their color is called First Light, and this is a pink, like it's a rosy type of pink paint color. And actually last year, pink, you know, the blush was actually the color of the year last year, the blush with the gray. So I know, you know, several people, we've added blush accessories and things like that. Don't worry, you're still in vogue, because that First Light color, it's just a nice, soft, pretty color. This is great, you know, if you've got a little sanctuary spot that you want to create, it's just really, really pretty. You can see how all of the blacks, the whites, the greens work so nicely with that. Now, so HGTV, their color is Romance. So this is also a pink, but it's got a more of an orange undertone to it. So a little, you know, it leans more orange to me than it does pink, but you can see how the bright teal chairs really bounce off of that, and they look wonderful together. And then Behr paint, and green actually was a popular color last year. It's still out there too. I don't see tons and tons of accessories for green, but it is just such a natural, warm color that you can take a look at, especially, you know, if you like the Farmhouse, if you like the Rustic, even Traditional. The green hue is just a wonderful color to be using in your space too. So, you know, greens and browns and golds, they all work really nicely together. So now we are actually coming up on the end here. So we have talked about, so kind of tying it all together here, we've talked about defining your decorating style. Are you an A, B, C, or D, or are you a combination of all of those above? We've talked about our 2020 design trends and what they are. We've gone through some of our color trends here. So there's a few different questions I want you to think about. So it's some homework for you as you're sitting there quarantined in your home for the next, hopefully in some areas it's just a few more days, in other areas it's a couple more weeks. So, or maybe even longer, hopefully not longer for you. But when you're taking a look, and typically what we like to do when we come into your space, and now that you're there spending a lot of time, think about, go room by room and just starting to jot down a list. And ask yourself, how do I want this room to feel, right? ask yourself who uses this room, and then ask, what is the function of this room? Or what do I want the function to be? So kind of go space by space and just start jotting those questions down. And then, you know, if you're stuck, I mean, that's what we're here for. We're here to help you figure out how to tie it all together and create a space that you really love, because we're going to ask you those questions too. And that helps us to create the design style and the floor plan and the layout so that we know that the room functions well for you and accomplishes all the goals of each room. So this is your homework, and we want you to go ahead and do that. Now, the other thing I want you to think about too is, you know, if you're stuck at home, and even if you're not stuck at home anymore, if you want to join us next week, we're going to be talking about how to create that that inspirational office, and we'll give you some tips on how to do that, from storage to look to, you know, how to utilize lighting, things.
Lighting, yep.
And then the week after that, so we're going to be doing these on Thursday nights. And the week after that, what we will do is we're going to talk about outdoor spaces, because we're coming upon that time of year, which is one of my favorite time of year, where we can get outside and do what we need to do. So that is some of the homework. I want you to go ahead and take a look. Anita will probably, when will you get the registration up for the office?
So everyone who attended today will get a follow-up email, and in that email will be a link so that you can go ahead and register for the next week's home office workshop, or webinar. I guess we're calling them webinars. Yep. I'm also going to go ahead and unmute, at least I'm trying to unmute everyone, so that if you would like to go ahead and ask a question, you can ask a question. Otherwise, you can go ahead and put something in the chat, and Karen will answer that way. If you have yourself on mute, go ahead and unmute yourself.
If you'd like to, yep. And then also too, because of the situation that we've got right now, and I know these are difficult times, and you know, we're homebound and kind of tied to what we're doing. If you go ahead and schedule a virtual or an in-home appointment, because as long as Rachel and I are feeling healthy, and as long as our clients are feeling healthy, and we're diligent, Anita's landlocked at her home, but we're diligent about.
We're all healthy. We're all healthy.
We're all healthy, but we're taking our temperatures every morning, and you know, making sure that we're feeling good when we come in. And we're really, really diligent about calling our clients and making sure that they're feeling good before we have any sort of contact with them, because we don't want to expose anybody to anything. We don't want to be exposed ourselves. So, but we are still doing something. We are doing the in-home appointments, or if you would prefer, we will do the virtual walkthrough with you. As long as you have, you know, your cell phone, we can go ahead and we can see what your space looks like and get a pretty darn good idea of where we need to go and how we can get the project started for you. So what we are doing though is, it's our Corona special. COVID-19 special is, we're offering, if you do sign up, if you're interested in doing a virtual having a virtual appointment or scheduling an in-home appointment, we're actually extending $500 off a $2,500 purchase towards your redesign of your room and whatnot. So just, you know, a little something. We hope everybody's feeling healthy, but you know, just to kind of make things a little bit lighter right now. And anyhow, hey, Anita, any questions that we have here?
I don't see any coming in. I've unmuted everyone, so if someone wants to ask a question, feel free.
Hi, ladies. This is Alex. I have a question in regards to how you guys hang the draperies on the wall. What is the measurements from like the window treat, the top of the windows to where you should hang your bar at?
Alex, that is a fantastic question. And so I'm going to have to be slightly vague in the way that I answer that. I'll tell you what we typically have been doing, but it really depends. And here's why I'm going to say it depends. Some of my clients want the drapery rod hung across the framework, right? Especially if they've got an 8-foot ceiling. So we absolutely can do that. What I personally love to do, because especially if you've got an 8-foot ceiling, sometimes we want to make that, the ceiling look a little bit taller. We want the window to look a little bit taller. What we typically will do is I'll split the difference between the top of the window frame and the ceiling, and then hang my rod there. So now that can be actually problematic if you want to buy stock draperies, right? So like, let's say you're going to go to Bed Bath & Beyond or somewhere online. You might not be able to find the draperies at the right length. And so that's why we've got thousands of custom window treatment books, so we can actually make the draperies appropriate for the space that you have. So what we typically like to do is we like to split the difference between the ceiling and the top of the frame. Does that help?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Good question.
Anyone else?
Anyone? Bueller? Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Well, and you know what? And here's the thing too. Sometimes I know people don't like to ask questions when they're in a setting like this, and that's okay. And there's no problem there. If you do have some questions after the presentation too, you know where to find us. Our email address is actually,
One more.
One more. There we go.
There you go.
Email addresses. Here's a home office that we redid. The client actually had their blinds in place, so we left those in place, but we did a makeover of their space here, and she loves that kind of more of that farmhousey look. So actually, this was a perfect setup for her, and so we added some fun accessories and whatnot. But if you have a question and you want to reach out to us, there's my email addresses there at Rachel and Anita's, or you can go to our website as well, millerdesigninc.com, and then there's a contact us, and you can go ahead and shoot us an email through there, and we'll be happy to answer that for you too. So
that number also is a textable one, so you can text us if you prefer to communicate by text.
Yeah. So go ahead, register for our next workshop. Also too, I want to mention to you again, we normally do these workshops in person, and we have events here in the Des Moines area, but we recently just did our first private in-home workshop. So we had a gal who reached out and she said, hey, you know what, I've got 7 or 8 lady friends in my neighborhood that I would love to have you come in and present to us and do kind of, her own in-home wine and design. And so we did that, and actually it was a lot of fun. Her girlfriends loved it. They asked great questions. We talked about design trends and styles, and they had specific questions. This happened to be a neighborhood where there's an awful lot of historic homes, so we actually tailored the presentation to how to maintain the integrity of your historic home while bringing it more modern and current. So we tailored a presentation to them specifically about that, and we answered all sorts of fun questions, and it probably ran a little bit longer than it normally would, but because we were in a fun home social setting, I think we finished up about 9:30 or so.
Yeah, it was close. It was around 9. Yeah.
So it was fun. So if you've got a group, we absolutely would love to do that. As you can tell, I have no problem talking. Oh, somebody else is laughing. Okay.
It's Alex.
Alex.
I had to laugh at that, Karen. I know you too well.
Oh, man. All right. Well, Anita, if there's no more questions, I just want to thank everybody for, wow, okay, holy smokes, I did that in 1 hour and 15 minutes. How did I do that? Almost 2 hours. I'm sorry. Ooh. Okay, so I will let you go. I'll let you get back to life. And thank you so much. I hope this was educational and entertaining. And I'm glad you spent the last hour and a half with us. So take care, everybody. Stay healthy. Wash your hands and keep your social distancing. Okay. Thanks.
Bye, everybody. Thank you for coming.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Super. Thanks for coming, Bryce.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end the meeting, ladies.
Okay, all right.
All
Thanks,
right.
Anita.
Bye, Nita.
Bye.